MC for tonight. I'm Jovi De Loreto. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. You can use the thumbs up button or you can use the chat box. If you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, thank you so much, Jonal. Okay, welcome everyone for tonight's session. We have a very special guest. He will share with us a bit. Okay. But before I introduce to you our speaker, we'll be having a few house rules, no? First, kindly put if you're unmuted, you can unmute yourself, although we will be muting everyone, no? For this session to have a good sound quality and we can actually experience a good learning environment through our Zoom meeting for tonight. Aside from that, if you have some questions along the way, you can actually personally message me because our speaker may not be able to read those questions. So if we still have time later, I can read those questions on your behalf for our speaker, Dr. Guest, and I would be glad to share it to the body, okay, later on. So you can use the chat box and personally message me for your questions if you have during the presentation of our speaker for tonight. Okay, the second house rule would be we encourage everyone to be seen. Kindly turn on your video so we can see each other's faces. This is more engaging, no? Also, if you want to put your background in the chat box, that's okay too. So I can welcome you or anyone can see your background because this is an open invitation for those who want some information, on about health. And lastly, we will be having a breakout room later. So some of you might have entered a corresponding number at the end of your name. So if you have guests or you are a guest here, very new in this session, we encourage you to ask your friend who invited you to ask the corresponding number because later we'll be having a breakout room where you can actually meet your friend in that breakout room. Okay, so just to have that quick chit chat with your friends who invited you tonight. I hope that's clear. Okay, so I won't keep so much of the time of our speaker because he has a lot in store for us. Again, welcome to the first timers and to the regular attendees of tonight's session. This event is actually brought to you by CCG Philippines. It's a search and development leadership organization. We believe in being healthy, wealthy, and wise. And this session is actually will cater on the health portion of our advocacy. Okay, so we have a lot of you here in Metro Manila provinces, and we also have someone in Chicago. Wow. I think it's morning there. Welcome. Good morning. Okay, I will not, as I mentioned, I will not be able to greet everyone, but I've encouraged you to have some notes and pens with you so that you can write down some information that you may get out of our session for tonight. Okay. All right. Our speaker for tonight is no less than, as you've seen on the screen, is a doctor. He is a medical practitioner, no? Specialization or specializing in family medicine. Actually, he is also into integrative and lifestyle medicine. His advocacy is actually for reversing type 2 diabetes, no, naturally. So in short, he is actually a health coach. He has been helping a lot of people live healthier, no, and better life and better themselves through the program that he is actually advocating. So without further ado, I'm so excited to learn so much from our speaker for tonight. Very well accomplished, no, in his field of expertise. So let's all learn from him tonight. For exercise is exercise. The topic on exercise for immunity. Let's all welcome Dr. Rico Santos. Hi, Doc Rico.
Hi, Joby. Thank you for your kind introduction.
You're welcome.
So, good evening, everyone. Nakikita niyo ba yung slides ko? And loud. Can you hear me?
Yes, Doc. You're loud and clear. And yeah, your slide is so good.
Okay,
Yeah.
sige. Thank you. So, thank you, Joby. Thank you. Our sponsor organized event is CCG Philippines by both co-founders Miss Olivia Fernandez Bernabe and Ryan Fernandez. No? Without whom I would not be in front of you. Sila ang aking mga mentor for personal development and leadership and public speaking. Dati sa clinic lang ako nakikipag-usap sa pasyente. Ngayon, pati online, teleconsulting. So, thank you. So, to go on, no? Tayo, akala natin exercise is very important, no? Pero may nalilimutan tayo parati, nutrition, no? Exercise in general is beneficial for health. But without the proper nutrition, hindi ma-achieve ang full benefits of exercise. So, general guidelines lang, no? The basic things that you need to know, all the benefits of exercise, for the body is actually in the recovery period, not during exercise itself. Exercise by is a stress. We are actually breaking down the body. Pero when we give time for the body to recover, that's where it happens of the benefits of exercise. Kaya dapat we give time for the body to recover. Hindi yung sige-sige lang, exercise tayo ng exercise. Diyan nagkakaroon ng maraming problema. Yung mga sudden death, atake, score sa pagtakbo. Mag-iit tayo. Now I will give the proper, no? This is medical information. No? Sinasabi ko lang sa iyo, information po ito, hindi po ito medical advice. For medical advice, kailangan kumonsulta kayo harap-harapan sa inyong mga doktor or through teleconsulting. Okay? This is my clinical practice sa Marikina. Although I'm not going there for now, sa bahay lang, teleconsulting. Most of the time. Lalo mga patients ay consulting for respiratory infection. Teleconsult na lang. So this is what I'm very, very proud of, is to teach people how to not need medicine. Actually, teach them to reduce their medication properly without endangering their health. I'm an advocate of teaching people how to reverse diabetes naturally. Kasi without a doubt, type 2 diabetes is a reversible dietary disease. So, balik na tayo sa exercise. Ito yung mga modifying factor, non-modifiable factors, no? Review lang to, yung ating gender, yung ating ethnicity, yung ating history, family history, no? Actually, sa family history and ethnicity, makikita rin natin dyan yung minsan wala man sa natin, pero ng eating contributes whether we become healthy throughout our life or we become prone to illness. No? Kaya lang yung heredity, yung din culture of eating. Ito naman yung mga modifiable risk factors, things that we can change by avoiding, like avoiding smoking, no? By nutrition, yung abdominal obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, yung high triglycerides and low good cholesterol. Yan ay modifiable risk factors by proper nutrition. No? And the topic natin ngayon is physical activity or exercise. Modifiable risk factors yung physical inactivity. Kasi kaya naman nating baguhin ang ating habits kung gugustuhin natin. So now, that's the sitting disease. So kahit na, even though we are exercising regularly, no? Kahit everyday pa yan, pero kung most of your day are spent, no, 8 hours, 10 hours, sitting down, kahit na nag-exercise ka sa umaga or sa bandang gabi, but most of your day are spent sitting down 8 to 10 hours a day, prone ka pa rin sa ibang mga sakit. No? Kaya disease. So, ang tinuturo ngayon, no? Kahit na nasa harap ka ng computer mo or sa desk mo, nagtatrabaho ka, every now and then, you must change your position or stand up at least once every 15 minutes para ma-alleviate yung sitting disease. Kaya tanda niya, kahit na nag-exercise tayo, kung parati naman tayong nakaupo throughout the day, we are still prone to many diseases. So madali namang baguhin yan. Patayo-tayo tayo paminsan-minsan. So next, ito yung mga exercise principles. No? The overload principle. No? If you habitually overload a system, it will respond and adapt. So yung stress, halimbawa, stress mo sa kamay mo, nagda-dumbbell ka, pagka parati mong ginagawa yan, paulit-ulit, eventually, yung muscle mo sa braso, lalaki yan at lalakas. Yan ang tinatawag na overload. Pagka habitually ina-overload mo ang isang system or part ng katawan mo, it will respond and adapt. Yan ang isa sa mga benefits ng exercise. No? And very specific siya. Hindi porke in-exercise mo yung kanang kamay mo, pati yung kaliwang kamay mo lalakas. Dapat pareho. No? Nag-exercise ka nga sa upper body, yung lower body, hindi mo ina-exercise, hindi lalakas yung lower body. Kaya very specific ang exercise. No? You have to do it all over your body. Hindi yung one part lang. Otherwise, makikita nyo, diba, yung iba dyan, sa tennis court, nakikita ko nung araw, yung mga kanang kamay, malaki yung kanang kamay nila, yung hindi, tapos yung kanilang left hand is maliit, normal size. Kaya pagka hindi mo ginagamit, it's really, it does not adapt. At reversible siya, no? Whereas overloading will result in training, adaptation, inactivity, or detraining will result in a return to the baseline. So kaya pag tumigil ka na sa pag-exercise for weeks, for months, eventually magre-revert to the baseline, no? Kaya kahit na anong laki mo, na-achieve mo yon, pero pagka tinigil mo na yung mga exercise routine mo, eventually, it will go back to baseline. Liliit ulit. Kaya reversible siya. And meron siyang individuality. Hindi lahat ng tao pare-parehong response, physiological response sa particular stimulus. Iba-iba, no? Yeah, tulad nitong nasa studies na ginawa nila, no? They did some training for a group of people, no? Lumaki yung mga muscles sa hita, eventually, after 8 weeks, nag-stop sila ng training, eventually bumalik sa baseline, bumaba ulit. So yan ang reversibility, specificity, and reversibility. So meron mga iba-ibang types ng muscle. Meron yung slow, type 1 muscles, type 2, and type 2X. Yung type 2, yan yung mga for mga sprinting. Yung slow type 1, yan yung mga for endurance. No? Iba klase kasi, they use different kinds of fuel. No? Sa mga endurance athletes, more of ang ginagamit nilang fuel is fatty acids. No? Sa mga sprinter, more of carbohydrates, glucose. No? So yung mga type of muscles na yan, magkaibang gamit nila ng fuel. Yan. Ito yung mga nangyayari, mga chemical processes sa katawan, no? When we do exercise, yung mitochondria natin, yung powerhouse of the cell, actually, we produce more mitochondria when we do exercise. That's beneficial for us, no? At saka nagsisynthesize tayo ng more antioxidants when we are exposed to exercise. Kasi nga, when we exercise, we produce a lot of free radicals or ROS, reactive oxygen species. No? When we do that, our body compensates and synthesizes actually more antioxidants to counteract the effects of reactive species. And we can help our body produce more antioxidants optimally through our diet and through supplementation. Yan ang primary fuel ng ating muscle, yung ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And it's the only one that's used by the cell for the mechanical work of exercise. So ang immune system naman natin, no, it helps us fight off these pathogens, viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungi, also toxins, and pollutants. No? Ngayon nga, dahil meron tayong pandemic, dapat palakasin ang ating immune system para malabanan natin si COVID, no? And other diseases. No? Kasi hindi lang naman si COVID ang nangyayari ngayon. Meron din mga ibang opportunistic infections that happens because pag weaken ng immune system natin, merong mga other opportunistic infections that will thrive. Kaya dapat palakasin natin ang ating immune system. And one way of doing that is through exercise. No? So this is just a review. There are actually two types of immunity. The innate and the adaptive immunity. No? Hindi ko masyado ng dwell dito na to kasi complicated. No? Kahit ako, mahihirapang maintindihan ito. Actually, yung innate naman kasi, yan yung mga non-specific response, pero immediate, no? Sa isang assault sa ating body, no? At wala siyang memory after exposure. No? Pwedeng humoral, meaning yung mga humoral nagpuproduce siya ng mga substances to combat the offending infection, at meron din cellular. Yung cellular, yung mga white blood cells, phagocytes, no? And natural killer cells. Yun ang mga co-converge sa isang particular infection, no? Ito yung mas pagtutunan ng pansin, adaptive immunity. This is specific to an antigen, meaning specific to a virus, a bacteria, specific siya do offending organism. At meron siyang line from the exposure to the response. No? Maaaring sa ngayon, habang nagkakasapuan ka ng sakit, no? Hindi ka agad nagkakaroon ng response yung katawan mo. Pero after a few days, unti-unti nang lumalakas ang resistensya mo, nakukuha na ang sakit. So, meron siyang lag time. At ito yung meron siyang immunological memory after exposure. Kaya binakunahan. Kasi ang bakuna is an antigen, no? That is partially inactivated para hindi siya ganun ka-virulent, no? Meron siyang konting virulence para initiate yung adaptive immunity natin. So, yun ang ginagawa ng mga polio vaccine, ng mga mumps, measles, rubella vaccine, at lahat ng mga vaccine. Ganun ang ano nila ang mechanism, no? To initiate an response, pero delayed. So pagka meron ng memory yung katawan natin doon, no? Pag na-expose tayo ulit, hindi na tayo as sick as before pag nadapuan ng sakit na yon, or most often, hindi na tayo na nagkakasakit ng ganung sakit. No? Meron din siyang humoral response, mga substances that are produced by the body, yung mga antibodies, yung mga cytokines, at meron mga cellular, yung mga panlaban na mga white blood cell, T lymphocytes ang tawag doon, or B lymphocytes. No? Yan ang nangyayari din dito sa COVID. No? Sometimes kasi yung mga ibang patients na immunocompromised, no? Meron silang overreactive response. So nagpo-produce ng maraming cytokines, no? So na-overwhelm yung katawan. Yan. So kasi pag sumobra din ang ating response, masama dun sa katawan natin yon. Yan ang adaptive immunity. Diyan papasok ang vaccines. Pero mag-iingat sa vaccines, dapat sigurado tayong safe siya at nagawan na ng maraming trials bago natin subukan. Kasi basta bago ang isang bagay, everything that is new, wag tayo mga first adopters. Let the test of time first. Let it stand the test of time. So, pangkaraniwan ng factors that affects susceptibility to infections among athletes, yung mga increased exposure to pathogens, kasi nga parati silang nasa outdoors, no? Tumatakbo, malangoy, bisikleta, lalo na yung mga triathletes, no? Minsan, inadequate ang diet nila, stress na sila sa kanilang trabaho, stress pa sila sa exercise, kulang sa tulog, dahil sa overtraining. Kaya nagkakaroon sila ng increased susceptibility to infection. Actually, merong portion sa exercise na we are more prone to infection. Ito, yung tinatawag nilang the open window theory. for a single bout of intense exercise, meron tayong window of ng opportunistic, pwede magkaroon ng opportunistic infection. Mga 2 to 3 hours after exercise. Doon humihina yung ating katawan for a single bout of exercise. No? Yan. Humihina yung cellular, humoral immunity, yung mga antibodies, and yung cellular immunity, mga white blood cells, T cells, and B cells. Pero meron ding magandang effect ang exercise. Basta pa ulit-ulit mong ginagawa kasi nagkakaroon ng adaptive mechanism ang katawan natin through chronic exposure sa stress. Lumalakas ang katawan natin. No? Pero sa pagka minsan mo lang ginawa kasi merong window of opportunity na humihina ang katawan. Mga 3 to 6 hours after exercise. Pero but then, when we do exercise regularly, our body becomes trained, no? So, tumataas din ang immunity natin. Kaya hindi maganda yung mga weekend warriors. Kailangan regular, consistent exercise. So, tumataas yung ating natural killer cell function pagka-train tayo sa exercise, pag regular ang exercise natin, compared to sedentary individuals, no? Yan. Ito rin. During exercise, it's actually a stress. It may weaken our immune system dun sa first, sa 3-hour window, 3 to 6-hour window. Dahil sa production ng cortisol, the stress hormones, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. Actually, increased body temperature, medyo nakakahina ng katawan yan. No? Pag minsan-minsan mong ginagawa ang exercise. Pero pag repeated, regular, over the long term, lumalakas po ang ating immune system. Pero meron ding downturn ang exercise pagka overtraining, pag sobra-sobra na, no? Humihina ang katawan, decrease ang performance, loss of body weight, chronic fatigue, psychological staleness, at pati yung blood pressure, lactate levels during exercise tumataas. And nagkakaroon ng increased number of infection. So, marami nag-exercise for weight loss. But does it help? For weight loss, not really. But you should stay active any way you like. Actually, the benefit ng weight loss sa exercise is during the recovery period. No? When you are actually eating. And exercise near the end of a fast to maximize the growth hormone, ang recommended is yung strength and high intensity training. Kasi yan ang nag-i-increase ng muscle mass and tone and improves insulin sensitivity. No? Ang fasting and exercise actually has very similar physiological effects. No? Kaya mas maganda magpagsamahin niyo sila at the end fast yung exercise. Mas namamagnify ang effects ng exercise and fasting. Pareho siyang beneficial. Increased growth hormone, the anti-aging hormone, increased BDNF, the brain-derived neurotrophic factor that increases neuroplasticity, stem cells, and more synaptic connections. Maganda yung topic ni Mr. Jun Lacamanan before about neuroplasticity. Na-discuss niya lahat yun. Yung effects ng sa brain. So fasting and exercise should go hand in hand. Pero kung hindi nyo kaya yung fasting and exercise, okay lang yung exercise lang muna. Pag malapit na kayong kumain. Hindi yung pagkakain. Pag bago kumain, doon mas magandang mag-exercise. Yan kasi ang mga base niya, no? Activation of the sympathetic nervous system. Gaya na sinabi ko kanina, antioxidant activation, yung natural intracellular antioxidant, yung glutathione is produced more during exercise, no? Activation ng cyclic AMP and AMP kinase. Yan ay mga enzyme, mga substance na nag-increase ng longevity. Activation nga ng BDNF, ng brain-derived neurotrophic, and the hormones like testosterone, no? Epinephrine, norepinephrine, no? Yan ang mga benefits ng exercise, especially when fasted. Nakita niyo itong you see this one in green circle, no? Ito ang mga beneficial sa katawan. Exercise, fasting, carbohydrate restriction, all these can lead to ketosis or fat burning, no? That can lead to the stimulus of the AMPK, yung mga substances for longevity, increased mitochondria production and biogenesis, and then more energy utilization, fat burning, no? So we produce more reactive oxygen species or free radicals, which will then stimulate our body to produce more antioxidants, no? Dito makakatulong yung mga supplementation natin, no? To help our body combat the free radicals, no? So mag-i-improve yung longevity and yung metabolic function, no? At it inhibits actually yung mTOR. mTOR is a substance that promotes cancer, no? So ini-inhibit niya yan. Ito yung mga progenitor ng mga masasamang pangitain. Yeah. These are the substances that promotes disease, especially when consumed to excess. When we consume too much of glucose, carbohydrates, we produce more insulin and IGF-1, or which is insulin growth factor. No? These substances contributes to insulin resistance, which leads to diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, cancer, arthritis, gout, fatty liver disease. No? These are the modalities that you can do to prevent those things that I've mentioned. So which is better, resistance or aerobic training? Actually, both can help. No? When we do aerobic training kasi, we lose more of lean body mass. No? So dapat, we also do resistance training so that we preserve lean body mass. No? And when you do resistance training or strength training, you actually increase your resting metabolic rate. Kasi muscle gets bulkier. When your muscle gets bulkier, you actually burn more fats, energy, even when at rest. No? Yun ang benefits ng improving your muscle. No? When this is how our body consume energy. No? A small portion of it are used for exercise, for physical activity. No? NEPA is actually non-exercise physical activity, the blue one. No? And the effect of meals. Most of our energy expenditure are spent at rest. No? Mga 60% are actually spent at rest. No? So a small portion lang for physical activity are spent by our body. So when we do exercise, no, when we improve muscle mass, no, the benefits are actually when we are resting. No, because the bulk of our energy are utilized during rest. No? So when we're no longer exercising, when improve our muscle mass, we actually burn more energy at rest than when we did the exercise. These are the benefits of regular exercise. Positive and effects. Maintains body weight, improves well-being, mood improves. You'll have a sense of achievement, relaxation, no? Improve heart disease risks, type 2 diabetes, stroke, mental health problems, no? Musculoskeletal conditions, lahat yan, everything of that will improve. No? I actually prescribe exercise for those people with anxiety, depression, no? Because when we do exercise, we produce a lot of feel-good hormones like serotonin, dopamine. So before we exercise, we must get our target heart rate. No? It's the formula is 20 minus your age. That would be your maximum heart rate. The maximum heart rate is the fastest that your heart can beat. No? You should not go over your target heart rate zone, which is 60 to 80% of this maximum heart rate. No? So if you're age 40, your target heart rate range should be 108 to 144 beats per minute. So you should not go over that. No? Your target heart rate range. The perfect exercise actually has the time, at least is 20 to 40 minutes. It should be intense enough. It should be intense enough that you can intense enough that you can hardly talk when you're exercising. No? But you can still talk. But at least you can hardly talk. No? Pero kung if you're not able to talk anymore, you're overdoing it overdoing the exercise. No? It should be intense enough and done for 20 to 40 minutes. No? But you should have a recovery period of at least 48 to 72 hours. That depends on your health status. No? Every individual is different. If you've been doing exercise for several times already, years even, then your capacity, your physical capacity is much better than the average. So, but most of us, like myself, is not that keen on strenuous exercises. Like me, I don't exercise too much strenuously. I just do the basics, no? Which I will teach you later. No? And this is a very important formula to take note of, the exercise optimization formula. At rest, get your pulse rate. No? Then do 1 minute of intense exercise, whatever it is, no? Bike, stationary bike, jumping jack, dancing, etc., etc. Do the most intense exercise for at least 1 minute. No? First is get your resting pulse rate. Then after doing that intense exercise for a minute, get your pulse rate again. No? Example here in the screen is an individual whose resting pulse rate is 70. No? When after he did the intense exercise, it was 150. And then rest. Get your pulse rate again at 1 minute intervals. No? So the first minute interval, get it again. If in this case, the example was 140. No? So if the difference from your maximum heart rate from the heart rate at 1 minute post exercise is less than 12, you are at risk for a cardiovascular event. So never do exercise for now. No? But if your pulse difference is around 20 to 30, you are in good health. And if it's more than 30, you're exceptionally healthy. You can do as much exercise as you can. So get this one, screenshot this one. No? So yan ang exercise optimization formula. Should be what happens during repeated exercise or training. No? Every time, you give time for recovery such that next time you exercise, you improve. Your performance improves. No? Stress, breakdown, recovery, you super compensate, you get to a higher fitness level, more stress, repeat the cycle again, even higher fitness. Every time you do that cycle. But but this happens most of the time for most people. They do not give time for recovery. So their fitness actually deteriorates through repeated exercise. These should be the 3 pillars of fitness. No? Fitness. High intensity interval training, exercise in short bursts with rest periods in between to help burn more fat, strength training, stretching. No? Yung strength training, high intensity training, you can do that mga 2 or 3 times a week. Never do it every day. No? Stretching, you can do every day. Yung regular daily exercise moves should be light intensity, low impact, like Pilates, yoga, walking, and so on. No? And now I will teach you this one, the nitric oxide dump. No? Nitric oxide is actually stored in our blood vessels, in our arteries particularly. No? It's a very potent vasodilator, no? Nitric oxide. It's naturally produced by our body and is stored, most of it are stored in the endothelium. And how do we produce nitric oxide? Nitric oxide actually is produced through sun exposure. It's produced in our skin along with vitamin D. It is produced in our skin along with vitamin D. There are only 4 movements in the nitric oxide dam. 4 movements per workout, 10 repetitions per movement, and 3 cycles of the repetitions. No? So the first movement is squat. Second movement is alternating arm raises. Ganyan lang. Oh. From your side, raise it shoulder level. Alternate. And then, yung non-jumping up, you raise your arms while standing, you raise your arms like that. No jumping. And the third movement is shoulder presses. 10 repetitions per movement and 3 cycles per movement. No? O, gawin nyo ngayon ha. Meron akong video. Share. Ay, nasa na yun? Sabayan niyo yung video.
Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be the 4-minute workout we're taking you through today. We're excited to show you this new concept of exercise that's come out of the science around nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is this little magical communication molecule made by the human body, stored in the blood vessels that feed your muscles. When you start to exercise and you run out of
Can you see it now?
Hi,
Not
Doc
yet.
Rico. Yeah, let me jump in and help you.
us, this is going to be the 4-minute workout.
Can you see it now?
No. Can you switch on, Doc Rico, the optimize video for screen?
Yeah, I already did.
It's already turned on. Okay.
Oh, share computers lang, optimize
yeah.
screen.
Yeah. It
I already
started na.
clicked it.
It was a bit choppy.
Ayan, okay na.
Workout we're taking you through today.
Kita na yung video.
Oh, it's black.
Not
Black
yet.
screen.
Bakit kaya?
Yeah. Baka it's too big a file, Doc, to show over Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Baka hindi kaya ng internet connection. Oo. Maybe you can share with us is it from YouTube? Maybe we can all watch it.
Yeah, it's from YouTube.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
show it.
yung YouTube.
Can you give me the link
Yeah.
and I'll try to show it from my end?
And get your pace built up over time, certainly than using weights or anything else like that. So let's focus on the form.
Ba't gano'n? Nagpe-play.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Doc Rico, since it's from YouTube, we can't really show it because we're also on FB Live and YouTube. So that would be, yeah, that might be an
Ako, nagloko
sharing
na.
issue. So, yeah.
Nagpe-play na lang mag-isa yung video.
Yeah. Oo. Maybe you can
Kaya
share na lang
mag-stop
with
yung
us
video.
the link and we can watch it outside of the webinar.
Yeah.
on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ito, I can show the video on the YouTube. I can share it.
Yeah. Type na lang the link and everyone can
Ito.
watch it afterwards.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, we'll also post it on Facebook.
Nasaan na yung ano? Share. Nasaan na yung share? Share screen. Ba't di ako makapag-share screen? Wala.
Okay, we've got Ian and Aris sharing the link with us.
Ayan.
So you
Ito
guys,
na.
you can just watch it. Doc will just have to skip the video for now. Kasi,
Okay, sige.
yeah, it will be blocked by YouTube and Facebook later on. Because that's, yeah. But everyone can watch it later on using the links in the chat box. Thank you, Ian and
Sige.
Aris.
Okay. Nasaan na ba ako? Ako, nag-stop yung PowerPoint ko. Where is my PowerPoint? Nag-stop yung aking PowerPoint.
Do you need to restart your laptop, Rico?
So, where was it? Ha? Hindi ko makita yung PowerPoint ko. Wala.
Nawala ba? Why don't Jovi?
Share screen.
Yes, right?
Yeah. Maybe we can get some Q&A for the time being.
Yeah. Sure.
Ayun, nakita ko na.
Kita mo na? Okay. But anyway, you guys can type in your questions and Jovi can collect some.
Yes.
Sige.
We have a bit of Q&A with Doc Rico.
Okay. I've seen some questions earlier. One from Ariel.
Actually, yung next slide.
Mhm. It
After
has to.
the
So you're ready, Doc?
nitric oxide dam.
Okay. So you're good to go, Doc, to your next presentation? Or do I read some questions first? Or you can finish your presentation before we go to the questions?
Yeah. Oh, sige.
Okay.
Ano? Q&A ba o presentation na?
I think
Let's move
proceed
forward.
First. Move forward to your presentation first. Yeah.
While we're collecting questions, since you've fixed your screen now.
Okay.
Okay,
Thanks.
sige. Ito na yung next screen after the workout by Zach Bulls. So, highly consider supplementation. No? This should be your list when you're considering supplementation. No? It should be plant-based. That includes vitamins, minerals, and concentrates, phytonutrients, and derived from a variety of plants. Manufacturers should own, grow, harvest, and concentrate its plants. It must be certified organic from soil to the seed up, and the tablet should disintegrate within 30 minutes or less. Most of the tablets available sa mga synthetic supplements, isang oras hindi pa natutunaw eh. Some have reported they pooped it already and it's still whole. The tablet's still whole, no? And manufacturers should adhere voluntarily to good manufacturing practices from seed to the product and assays its entire line of contaminants, or contaminants, etc. No? It should have easy. The public should have easy access to publish bioassays and ORAC scores. ORAC score is the nalimutan ko yung ORAC score. Anyway, it's about the antioxidant property of the supplement. No?
Hi, Doc. I think we
Yeah.
can't see your screen right now. It's just black screen.
Oh, talaga?
Yes, we
Wala?
don't see
Bakit?
some
Anong
slides.
nangyari? What happened to my screen? Naka-ano naman screen
Shares.
sharing. Ulit-ulit.
Okay.
Wala? Wala pa rin? You can't see anything? I can't hear.
None, Doc.
Wala, wala. Talaga
It's
nagbuo
completely
na ang
black,
ating
Doc Rico.
black.
So would you just mind closing PowerPoint and just reopening? Let's see if it does anything.
Sige.
And if you can just email me quickly your slides, maybe I can show it from my computer. Would that be possible? And Sabina, I know you're here. Could you just help your dad if he's trying to send something?
May I suggest, since we're waiting, and I really appreciate the effort of Doc Rico, and you know, guys, this is a live event, so we really are subject to a lot of challenges along the way. But if we've got other health professionals, also while Dr. Rico's trying to email, then maybe we can ask, like, for example, see Doc Rowell over there. I know Doc Rowell exercises every day for an hour and a half. Oh my God, that's
Wow.
yeah. Are you okay, not Doc Rico? We're just trying to. If you're okay, we're good to go on. But Doc Rowell exercises an hour and a half. Isn't that too much exercise, Doc Rowell? You can unmute yourself. Can you unmute him?
I do my regular exercise routine, 1.5 hours a day, but the exercise is not
Baka
as
biglang
heavy as
umano siya.
recommended by Dr. Rico. My exercise is just plain dancing,
Wow.
dancing. Wow. Using the YouTube. Yeah. The good thing about dancing, it relaxes me, it gives me energy, and it is the time of the day, very unusual, is the time of the day that I can meditate. Very unusual. That's, my brain is so active in thinking, planning, concentrating while doing my exercise. And also probably because I use the retro music, 1980s, 90s, I have this throwback in my mind.
Yeah.
Like the Dancing Queen.
Oh. Yeah, like you're young again, huh?
So I have a playlist in my YouTube of my dance dance
Right.
music. So I just randomly play it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're okay, Doc Rico.
But
You
when
see
I
my
do
slide
when I
na?
do my exercises,
Not yet, Doc.
I always have my excess energy.
Wala pa rin?
For energy.
Yeah.
Wala
So
pa
this
rin, Doc
morning
Rico.
I have my exercise. I have one
Talaga.
can, and today,
What happened?
because later on I will sing in YouTube, so I have to drink my excess.
Oh wow, he's really fun loving. But the thing with dancing is also the mind, anti-Alzheimer's, because your mind is, thinking of the steps. So it's good to keep the mind sharp.
Ano ko sisend?
But I agree with Dr. Rico that even though we are doing our exercises, but the problem, we have a sedentary lifestyle during this
Lockdown.
during this lockdown. That's the problem. And I know that many of us are already bored inside our houses. I think we have to exercise a lot. Yun lang.
Absolutely, I agree.
I'm bored already since March. I'm locked down in my room, in my den. So this is my den.
Yeah, ang ganda naman.
Nice.
Yan.
Okay.
This is my den. Mm.
All right. Dr. Roel is
Okay.
a surgical oncologist. And
Yeah.
I think since March, he has avoided going to the hospital.
No clinic.
No
No
surgery.
clinic, no income, but thankful to CCG because of the help. I love
Yes.
CCG.
Wow. Thank you for that, Dr. Dr. Well, what are your workout tips for this lockdown for those who are guests
if you
here
want
with
to
us?
have an exercise, just do what you love. Yun lang.
Correct.
Okay.
Kasi,
Right.
yeah. If you're not enjoying it, don't do it. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Kasi ako kasi before, outside ng exercise ko, I like swimming. The problem in our clubhouse, our swimming pool is not functioning well. And I also, don't want too much exposure kasi yung skin
Sun.
Sun exposure. Too much sun exposure.
That's why I do my exercise here. Ganda-ganda. When I'm tired, I just sleep. I have 2 beds.
Nice.
If I'm bored, I'll just read my books.
Nice one, Doc.
Very productive during the lockdown.
I just have my first delivery of my green cloth.
That's why you have your virtual background na.
Because I'll be sa Superbot, I'll be broadcasting soon in FB Live, YouTube about health tips, about the about personality, relationship, through the help of the all of these things I learned from Olive, Titus, Ariel, Ambek, Ryan, and all our coaches in the community. That's why even though even though I'm not working in the hospital, I have sidelines teaching other people, and my references are all these books. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot, Doc.
Yeah. Yan to, mga habits, etc. Yeah.
Very
That's why
nice.
you have to be in the community.
Well, thanks for sharing, Doc Roel. While we're on the topic, I'm just curious for everyone else because so many are sharing and typing. What are your workouts, you guys? Just type it in the chat box. What's your usual workout at home? Bert says, try Qigong. Suzanne says, try the Miracle Walk on YouTube. So for the rest of you guys, what would you do as a workout right now?
Wow, Zumba.
Okay. So Jovi, you can read the answers.
Yes, Dr. Bedit loves Zumba. Wow. Pilates and yoga is being done by Ginger. Ginger is actually a Thai student from Japan. Okay. Wow, gardening. Dr. Belinda. Gardening also and walking for Matet, Rico. Stretching exercise is being done by Esther. Nice. Dancing alternate with walking by Dr. Chanda. We have a lot of doctors in the room. Zumba by Ming. HIIT or HIIT, so we call it the high intensity interval training by Ariel. I think Ariel has a question earlier if we can do HIIT on a daily basis. Doc Rico, can you
every day?
Every day. Can you do you have any suggestion on how we can do the high intensity interval training, is it recommended to do it in a regular basis, like daily, or it has to be done on an interval? Hi, Doc Roel, you're still there?
Ako ba? Ako ba?
O Dr. Rico, okay ka na ba sumagot ng mga tanong natin? You want to
Pwede
answer some
naman sumagot.
questions? Okay.
I-email ko kay Sabina yung file.
All right. So while we wait for the file to
We can
come in-
do actually HIIT, high
Mhm.
intensity interval training. The video of Dr. Sakbus is actually a high intensity interval training done for 4 minutes, no? 4
Okay.
minutes, you can repeat that mga 3 times a day. What happens there is when you do the 4-minute workout by Dr. Sakbus, you actually release the nitric oxide that's stored within our arteries, no? So every 3 hours, it's replenished. So you can do the nitric oxide dump again after mga 3 hours. Yung 4 minutes na yon, actually, when you do the 4-minute NOD, nitric oxide dump, you can do a repeat of it. Kahit mga twice mo siyang gawin, twice na ulitin mo yung cycle na yon. Kung depende sa sa physical health mo. Ako, nagagawa ko na yun yung NOD. I actually do it with 2-pound weights on both hands already. Dati kasi yung wala pang weights, noong umpisa mahirap pero nung kayang-kaya ko na, I added a 2-pound weight on both hands.
Okay. What type of
And
is it mineral
it's
water?
important to have a rest after the exercise.
Every after the NOD.
Yeah.
Or the nitric
you can also
oxide dump.
drink water, salted water, or dahil wala pa yung aking PowerPoint, I actually recommend yung Nutrilite Phyto Powder or replenishing electrolytes. It's a low-carb supplement for people exercising instead of using yung gawa ng Pepsi. Or instead of using yung Pocari Sweat, that's very high in sugar. Both are actually very high in sugar, which we are trying to avoid, no? Yung ating Nutrilite Phyto Powder is very low carb and very rich in B vitamins.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Doc. Some of the attendees here do 10,000 steps, walk in place on their home, maybe. Is that okay as well? 10,000 steps, is it part of a regular thing, an exercise? Or is it something to do with losing weight? How do you give recommendation on 10,000 steps, Doc?
In 10,000 steps? Okay lang yan, 10,000.
Okay
Actually,
lang.
kahit 7,000 lang, enough na yun. 7,000 at least. No? Walking in place. Pero napaka-boring naman no? Walking in place. Umarap ka sa TV na mayroong scenery. Yung malaking TV.
Rocky is actually running around the subdivision.
I actually have... yun. With physical distancing.
Okay. Chester's also doing high intensity.
No?
Go ahead, Doc, please.
Yeah. I have a patient na hypertensive. Medyo matanda lang sa akin ng a few years, mga 61, 62 yata siya, no? Babae. Matagal ko na actually siyang patient, mother ng isa ko ring patient, no? Hypertensive, no? Medyo chubby, overweight, pero hindi naman obese. Mataas ang blood pressure. Kanya nga lang problema doon, on and off ang medications. Pero lately, during the pandemic, nagkaroon siya ng palpitation. Nagiging kakaroon ng irregular heartbeat. So, nagpatingin sa akin, no? So, nung tinignan ko nga, chest x-ray, enlarged heart, tapos meron siyang arrhythmia. So, binigyan ko ng sabi ko, inamin niya regularly yung para sa high blood niya. Regular exerciser yun eh, nagsusumba every day, pero hindi bumababa ang BP. So, nung sabi ko, inamin niya regularly yung blood pressure medication niya. Isa sa umaga, sa gabi, meron na siyang beta blocker sa gabi, yung nakamababang dose, pero mataas pa rin ang BP. Tinuro ko na yung low carb. Ewan ko lang kung sinusunod, pero every morning, every night, sinesense niya sa akin sa messenger yung photo ng kanyang Omron blood pressure. Mataas pa rin. Finally, siguro sinabi niya sa akin, sinunod niya na yung low carb. Di na siya nag-rise the whole day. Nung hindi na siya nag-rise, alam mo yung BP niya bumaba sa normal, parang teenager. 120/75. So for several days na, ganun na. No carbs. Yun lang pala ang kailangan para bumaba BP niya. Kasi what happens with when you do high carb, yung puro carbs, especially sweets, you actually stimulate kidney insulin secretion, which in turn yung insulin blocks the renal tubule from excreting sodium and water. So nangyayari, you retain more water pag tumataas yung insulin mo. So pagka nag-low carb ka na, bababa insulin, matatanggal na yung stimulus to block excretion of salt and water. Kaya bumaba yung blood pressure. Kaya importante ang nutrition first before exercise. And rest. You must be rested bago mag-exercise. Merong recovery parati. Kasi kung walang recovery, you're just training yourself. Aatakihin ka lang sa puso pag nag-exercise ka.
Okay.
Kaya dapat well-rested, unahin ang nutrition, then you exercise. Okay?
Thanks for that tips, Doc. I think we can move on to the topic of supplements, Doc. I think Ryan can share with us your screen.
Sabihin na screen. Actually, patapos na yun eh.
Yeah, actually,
that's okay.
We'd love to really learn so much from you, Doc Rico, but I'm afraid we're a little bit over time already. So I just wanted to cover the importance of supplementation with exercise, because from what I understand, what you've taught me before, having a perfect diet is impossible, especially if you live in the big city where food isn't really fresh. So what are your thoughts on supplementation?
We have to. Pero we have to choose the right ones. Yun nga yung aking part ng dapat plant-based with the whole complement of multivitamins, multimineral, and plant concentrate. It should come from a certified organic farm which grows, harvests, etc., etc. At very, it should undergo testing talaga, like what they do at Nutrilite. Yeah. At saka, during exercise kasi, we produce a lot of free radicals, reactive oxygen species. No? So, to combat the free radicals, it should undergo testing talaga, like what they do at Nutrilite.
Yeah. Thanks, Doc Rico.
At saka, during exercise kasi, we produce a lot of free radicals, reactive oxygen species. No? So, to combat the free radicals, it should undergo testing talaga, like what they do at Nutrilite. Yan. Yan yung mga key nutrients, the double X, complete with multivitamins, multi-plant concentrates, and multimineral. Depending on a case-to-case basis, yung mga liver support, yung chromium picolinate, garlic, and green tea. Yeah. So, naubos ang double X. So, dahil wala namang omega-3 ang plants, no? Especially omega-3 kasi omega-3, DHA, and EPA are sourced from animals like fish, no? We actually can get omega-3s from plants, but then our body has to convert it to DHA and EPA pa, no? Which is sometimes reduce ang ating conversion. Kaya mas maganda you get it directly from the animal sources like fish, no? Quality dapat. Kasi ang fish natin ngayon is mostly farm, very deficient na sa omega-3s. And it can accentuate the effects of fasting, yung fats kasi yan, yung omega-3s, for improved mood and cognition and other health benefits like heart, it's a natural blood thinner, sa brain din, omega-3, especially DHA, is the primary structural component of the central nervous system. Kaya very important yan, yung DHA especially. Okay, next. Yan, what I said, yan ang magandang replacement. Kung talagang ayaw nyo uminom ng tubig, no? We can do with phyto powder, with electrolytes and B vitamins, no? And low carb. Avoid the high carb juices, no? Like the Gatorade, like the Pocari Sweat, sobra taas ng sugar ng mga drinks na yan. Next. And one thing more na magandang i-add. If you're really into exercise, no? Yang rhodiola, no? It's an adaptogen, no? It balances your nervous system. Pag overactive ang sympathetic mo, dina-downplay niya yun. Pag overactive naman yung parasympathetic mo, ganun din. Binabalance niya ang ating nervous system. And it can also balance an overactive immune system. Yung mga may allergies dyan, no? Overactive immune system yun. Like me, I have an overactive immune system. Meron akong atopic dermatitis. When I added rhodiola to my regimen, mas nag-improve yung aking yung eruptions ng atopic dermatitis. Recommended yan ni Dr. Gigi. Wala. Sa one time na nagtanong ko sa kanya doon sa ating chat group. Isang dermatologist, si Dr. Gigi. So, yeah, in summary, no, exercise cannot really outrun an unhealthy diet. We have to put in place the right nutrition, real food, not processed food. No? And also advocate of a ketogenic diet, especially for those who have metabolic syndrome, diabetes, high blood, no, etc. Then exercise, but recovery is essential. No? A single bout of high-intense exercise can transiently suppress the immune function in 3 to 6 hours. So nagkakaroon ng opportunistic infection to make us ill. No? But participation in a regular, moderate, consistent exercise can improve immune function, thereby lowering the risk of infection. Pero chronic high-intensity training and overtraining can lower immune function pag sobra-sobra. No? Kaya dapat talaga moderation. No? Give time for recovery. No? Regular moderate exercise can reduce the negative effects of other life stressors on our immune system. Nakaka-reduce ng stress ang exercise due the release of dopamine, serotonin, no? etc., etc. And highly consider supplements to counteract the negative effects of free radicals during exercise. So that's it, guys. Thank you for listening despite our technical difficulties.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Rico. We really learned a lot. I think our audience knows for tonight would agree with me that we've learned so much from Dr. Rico. Thank you so much again, Doc, for your time, for sharing your wisdom and your expertise. So we won't take much of questions anymore, but I encourage you to join us again later to have a chit chat with your friends in the breakout room. But before that, let me invite you for our 8 o'clock habit. We call it an 8 o'clock habit here in CCG Philippines. For tomorrow, we have a No Borders project with Coach Ariel Driz. This is actually a project where that Coach Ariel will share with us on the business part. As I've mentioned, here in CCG, we believe in being healthy, wealthy, and wise. So for tomorrow, he will be sharing with us on the wealth part. So hope to see you at 8 p.m. So if you can screenshot the Zoom ID number so that you can join us for tomorrow. All right. So again, thank you, Dr. Rico, for that very informative session that we have with you. And again, please join us in a breakout room. Just wait until you join. Just press the button to join the breakout room. See you guys. Have a good
Thank you,
evening,
Gabby.
everyone. Thank you also, Doc. God bless everyone.
Wow, ganda ng BP niya.